Okay, we are live. We are live. Good evening, everybody. If you are in Nigeria, good evening. And if you're not in Nigeria, take the greeting of the day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or even good night, as the case may be, right? Because in the night, you greet good night. Okay, so I know you may have been anticipating this session. This session is for married people. We don't want to see single people yell.
There have a lot of singles on your wall.
So, today we are going to be looking at why your spouse is no longer keen on sex. So, people think that when people get married, it's always about sex all the time, sex in the morning, sex in the evening, sex in the night. They always think that when it's raining, those who are married are always the ones who are enjoying. Okay, but they need to realize that sometimes during marriage, yeah, the single people are already complaining that they want to be here. Please, if
Ah,
you are single, go home. But if you have to be here, so learn from us. Learn from us the things that you can use when you eventually get married. All right. So everybody is welcome, single and married, divorced, whichever. You are all married. And please, if you're joining us right now, go and invite all the people, as usual, to share and be here for this live session. Okay. So we are going to be looking at why your spouse is no longer keen on sex. People think that when you get married, it's all going to always be exciting all the time. I give you a particular example with myself. When I have a lot of things in my head, two things actually happen. All right. I see sex as more as a means of removing tension, for example. So I'm all tense. For example, it's towards the end of the month. I'm thinking of salaries. I'm thinking of money for the house. I'm thinking of my parents. I'm thinking of a whole lot. And then I become tense. Pressure mounts. My head is filled with tension. you
yeah.
know so sex can be as a means of reducing the tension, not necessarily as a means of making love, but to ease off tension. Other times could be that you have a lot of things you are thinking of, for example me, and I'm not even able to get it up. So my head is on bills and bills and bills and a whole lot, and then I can't get it up. That's the truth. I mean, there's a disconnection of sorts. Okay, there are other reasons why your spouse will no your while your spouse perhaps currently is no longer keen on having sex with you. Okay, so we are going to be looking at that all through the session, and I have with me here Sunday and Nani. I believe that you were part of the first session. I mean, it was fire. That one concerned everybody. I mean, the single people were here more. I do hope that the same thing can happen today. All right, come on, learn what you will need for your marriage to become successful sexually. So I have with me here Sonda Nani, who has released the book. Sunday, somebody came to my office and forcefully borrowed that book. I don't know. I don't know when she's going to return that book. Really, she forcefully borrowed the book from me. All right, and I hope that she's going to bring it back. Okay, so today we are going to be looking at why your spouse is no longer. I mean, Sunday has released the book recently, and I'll leave him to share about the book. I mean, the book has been making waves. People have been buying the book, so he's going to be sharing with us why your spouse is no longer keen on sex, and if your spouse is not keen on sex at the moment, what can be done so that your spouse can be keen on sex to rejuvenate the sexual experiences and joys. So let's make welcome Sunday Nani. So Sunday, please share with us your pedigree, your experience, sorry, your pedigree, your profile. Tell us about the book, and then you can dive straight in to teach us and let us know why spouses are no longer keen on sex. Thank you and welcome, bro.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm mindful of time. I want to go and catch some rest, so we're going to do it as fast as possible. And I do hope that those who are also watching, those who are following, will be engaging enough and will learn from this. If you're in the first session, we heard about that's about 3 or 2 weeks ago now. We talked about sex in general, particularly what singles need to know and all of that. So today we are going to be talking about Now, you are already married. You've looked forward to sex all your life, or maybe from when you got mature and from when you began to understand sex and sexuality. You've been looking forward to sex, but somehow you got married. The excitement was so high, and somewhere along the line, there was a nose diving, and then the interest in sex, either by you or by your spouse, somehow reduces. We'll look at that. But my boss has said I should talk about myself very briefly. My name is Sunday, as you can brightly see on the screen. I'm an accountant by training. I'm a counselor as well by training. I'm an author by passion, by interest, by training, by everything, by calling. So I write books. So far, I've written 3 books. One on marriage, of course, very, very useful for singles. The title, I will still show you the book before we end the session. The title is My Marriage, My Work, a very fantastic copy that people have been buying. Then secondly, I wrote, Now This is Courtship. I did that because I found out that a lot of singles were making a lot of mistakes in their relationship. And so I thought of writing something about courtship, and that has been helping a lot of singles. Then lately, in collaboration with my wife, we wrote a new book titled Sexual Intimacy and Sex in Marriage. That is a very, very big topic, of course, in many, many homes. And by God's grace, as the Don has already said, it's been making waves. People have been buying the book from wherever, soft copy, hard copy. It's been an amazing one. The feedback has been very, very fantastic. So let me keep it that short so that we can quickly go into what we have today. If you want to know more about me, please check my timeline. Just click my name and you will see more of those things I do so that we can save time. So why is it that when you get married, it's possible that your spouse may no longer be as keen as they were at a point in time about sex? During courtship, you probably talk about sex a lot. You probably discuss your fantasy, your expectations, what you would like your spouse to be to do to you. Now he's your spouse or she's your spouse. But marriage comes, honeymoon was awesome, 1 or 2 weeks on honeymoon, or even a month, as the case may be. And after a while, things began to change, and then the temperature went down, the focus reduced, the interest that you thought was out of the roof has come down so low, and you are not as keen as you think or you thought you are going to be. There are many factors involved. We will not dwell too much on the causes. We'll mention them briefly here and there. Our focus will be more on the solution. I'll just talk about them. First on the list, and one of the major ones, is financial issues. And I'm going to be sharing some examples, some stories, either mine or that I've heard of, or other people's experiences. Financial issues can be very draining. And because sex is a thing of the mind, is a thing that has to do with the mind, anything that troubles that mind will trouble your sex life. And money, as we know it, one of the major reasons, in fact, the major reason we wake up and go out every day is because of money. And if there is financial issue, money issues, it's going to affect the mind. And because the mind is the seat of sex, romance, and intimacy, when that happens, it's definitely going to affect your sexual life. I'll give you an example. Some time ago, where I was working, it was looking clear that the company was going to go down and I was going to lose my job. The effect of that on my mind was so heavy because I began to think of, what am I going to do next? Where will the next income come from? Yeah, my wife was doing her business. I was making some other income from other sources of income. But my 9 to 5 was, was being threatened. So that really affected my mind. I went to bed thinking what would happen until the following day. I was in the restroom and God assured me through an incident that happened in the restroom. I don't need to share the details. And then my mind, I had the rest of mine. So financial issues, maybe school fees, maybe you need money for your health, maybe you need money for normal general housekeep, and you do not have enough of it. It can really affect, your drive for sex. You'll be thinking, what is sex when I don't even have money in my pocket? That is for right thinking people. But for some people who are not, maybe in quotes, right thinking, whether they have money or not, they may be ready to fire. And in the process of doing that, they create problems for people that are associated with them. That's why you have people who may not have the financial wherewithal to take care of 3 children. They have 7 children because they don't mind, they don't care. Their financial burden does not bother them. they are not thinking the right way. But for right thinking people, finance normally will impact your sexual life. Another thing is stress. If you are stressed, like the Don just said in his introduction, if you are stressed because of things happening around you, you have a lot of work to do. Your business is going through a downturn, or people maybe your loved one, your father, your mom, your cousin, your relatives that you love, you are having some relationship issues with them. It can be stressful. It can cause a lot of stress on your mind. And like I've said, anything that touches on your mind definitely will impact your sexual life. You won't even be able to fantasize. Fantasy begins also in the mind. The imagination of sex before the actual act will be impaired, because something that appears bigger is impacting your mind. And so stress from job, stress from domestic work, maybe as a wife, you don't have a help and you do all the work alone. You have 2 or 3 children, you are the one carrying the burden. Even though your husband is providing support, it might be overwhelming. And by the time you are done, even in the bedroom, you are sleeping on the bed in the bedroom. That is, your physical body is there, but your mind is in the kitchen. Your mind is in the bathroom. Your mind is in the chores that are yet to be done. And so you are not available. Emotionally, you are not available. Your man cannot enjoy you because you are mentally stressed. Domestic chores has taken over you all over. And of course, also business. Somebody told me some 3 weeks ago, thereabout, before he bought my book, he said he has been so busy. His wife will come to him, trying to touch, but he will not be able to take it. And so he's not interested because he has a target he's pursuing. He's very, very busy. So that can also, of course, we know this can impact. Another thing is health. When people have health issues, definitely that health will become their burden. It becomes something big in their mind, and it becomes what they are just concerned about. For example, if a husband, for instance, has prostate cancer, or prostate enlargement, he will be so concerned about it that, hey, this thing should not grow into, should not grow into, should not become cancerous. If a woman, for instance, has postpartum depression, she just gives birth and then she's depressed. Even before giving birth, some of them a woman can, have PDD, that's PPD rather, postpartum depression, before even giving birth, and she can't. And if it even gets worse to what medicine called postpartum psychosis, Yoruba people call it abisinwi. You give birth and then you begin to hallucinate. You are confused. You are going to paranoid. You can't even think of sex because your mind is troubled. So you can't be available. These are some of the issues. Even health care. When you are caring for somebody, for instance, maybe not even your own husband or your wife, you are providing health care for somebody related to you. It can really eat into your life and make it really difficult. And then another thing is orientation. Some people will have a skewed sexual orientation from the normal that we know, that a man should marry a woman should marry a man, and they should love each other, they should be attracted to each other, they should have sex as many times as they want, as often time as they want. Some people's orientation is not like that. I shared a story 2 days ago on my wall. It's possible some of the people watching this video can, will conversant with the story. They got married, a man and a woman, here in Lagos, and for 2 solid years, the man never touched the lady. 2 solid years, the man never touched the lady. So it turned out that through findings and here and there, he had gayish mindset. So gayism or lesbianism, as the case, or homosexuality, as the case may be, if it is sexual orientation your spouse has, and you don't know, it may pose a serious problem. You are available, but he's not interested. If you like, walk naked. If you like, open your vagina. If you like, open your penis and walk naked. He's not moved. The woman told me my husband is not moved. Yes, it can be as a result of even health issues or things that have happened, in the past. And of course, also we can have spiritual beliefs and also wrong mindsets. A woman told me, she visited us sometime last year. Before she came to Lagos, where she used to live, there was a woman in her church who believed that sex should only be for when you are ready to have birth. When you're ready to make babies, that is the only time the husband should come close to her. You can imagine people having that kind of mindset. So you can be ready, but your spouse is not interested. Meanwhile, I should have said that some of these factors may not have to do with you, and at times they may have to do with you, meaning they may be you factors, that is, you are the one causing the disinterestedness of your spouse in sex, and they may be factors that are associated with your spouse. You are not the causer, you are not the one causing them. And Thirdly, maybe combined, as the case may be. It can also be aging, can also be an issue. Age differences and aging. When your spouse is aging, or there is a very wide age difference between the both of you, it's possible that the way you desire sex is not the way he or she may desire sex because of age differences. That can also be a reason why your spouse may not really be keen, in sex with you. Imagine somebody getting married to somebody that is older than her, a woman marrying a man that is older than her by like 15 years. People do it to get to a point where the man's interest may dwindle. Meanwhile, the woman is just in her prime, ready to take more shots, but the man is already, nose diving. The penis is no longer as erect as it used to be. No matter the support that the woman gives, no matter the carrying and trying to play with it, nothing happens. Age difference can also be an issue because that happens often. The man may eventually just lose, interest. Another thing is conflicts. Yeah, that one is obvious. When you have conflict with your spouse and this conflict is not resolved, or it's a perennial conflict, or it's a frequent one, it happens frequently. Definitely conflict affects the mind, except people aren't, processing things normally. So where conflict is and it is not resolved, there's no how. It will be very difficult for your spouse to open her legs for you to come in, or for you to even go near her and say, hey, let me touch you. The first thing is that you're not even in good terms. So conflict is another major issue. So singles, you want to pay attention to this. You want to pay attention to the fact that as keen as you may be, about sex. Now I say when I get married, hey, I will have sex. When conflicts, takes a center stage in marriages and these conflicts are not resolved, it will be very difficult. It will be impossible, near impossible for sex to even be on the agenda because both of you are not on the same page. Another thing is erectile dysfunction. When a man is having erectile dysfunction and for whatever reason that happens, maybe for some accident, it could be as a result of accident, or for whatever the cause is, it can cause a lot of issues. With the erectile dysfunction, the man may not be able to sustain his erection. If he's not able to sustain his erection, it will create a problem for him. Of course, it will affect his self-esteem, and he may not be interested in making moves because he knows that what is the essence of making move when I can't sustain even a 2 minute or 1 minute erection? It will also affect the spouse. The man may want to make a move, and the woman will be like, what are you doing? Where are you going? You have nowhere you are heading to. So don't even bother. And so the interest, will be more or less, not there. Aside that, very close to erectile dysfunction is premature ejaculation. When a man has premature ejaculation, he penetrates his wife, and before you know it, he has not even trust. He has not gone 1, 2, in and out. He has already scattered everywhere with sperms or with ejaculation. It will affect his self-esteem a lot. And the woman too will feel like, I've not even started. The woman does not get ready for sex as soon as men do. It takes them time. And so the woman has not even started. She has not even begun. You have already concluded your journey. And so subsequently, it's going to affect your sexual life. There's no how. So the interest will also be low. All these are problems. We'll talk about the solutions as briefly as possible. I want my boss to go and rest. It's very important. Another thing is environment. I'll give you all. Sorry. Let me just continue. Power is off, but I know they will restore it very soon. So another thing that can also
happen. I say fire down, NEPA, nothing that happened, Sha.
Yeah, guys, so
I know you guys are enjoying this. Go ahead and the one that you just told me now. The one you just said now. I just posted it. Not being interested because the man has homosexual partners, and that's the absolute truth. There's so many men who are homosexuals, and because of what their family members would say, they went ahead to get married to women, all right, to maintain the face. And
exactly.
Then you find out that they don't touch the woman, they're not interested in sex, and the woman gets to worry, but not understanding that the man may have homosexual partners, and that is the truth. All right.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. So go ahead. So guys, please do share the live stream right now. Invite your friends. I can see some individuals who have invited. Ijoma has invited. He said, Ijoma T. Daniels, come and learn how to rejuvenate me. All right. So go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you, sir. So the next point is environment. And I'm going to use myself as an example. If the environment is not ideal, you may not know that it is the reason your interest in sex is not high. You may just think it's normal. And I will give you an example that pertains to me and my wife. A couple of weeks ago, so our children sleep with us. There's another room, but they sleep with us. They are still small. They have a bed. We have our own big bed. Our small boy sleeps, with just around us or between us and all that. So, and I told my wife, I said, it's like this boy sleeping around us is not helping our sexual life. And then we agreed that yes, it's true. Aside the fact that you're sleeping on the same bed with us, the presence of the other the elder sister, who may of course sleep off really, really well, is also affecting us. So we may just think, even if the thought of sex comes to my mind, I may think, this boy is here. Even though he's asleep, I may disturb him, or he may wake up midway, through the act and all of that. So environment also impacts. So we now agreed. In fact, including bed, your mattress, the mattress you use, the kind of mattress you use, can also impact your sexual life. So we now said, okay, now the mattress we had then was the normal mattress. So I said, and I discussed with my wife, I said, let us get a semi-orthopedic bed. That's a semi-orthopedic mattress that is stronger. Yeah, my wife has more weight than I am. So we felt, okay, let's get a mattress that is stronger because of her back. She wasn't now sleeping more often on the same mattress with me, even though we're in the same room. You can imagine that kind of environment. As simple as that is, it impacted our sexual life, but it was good that we knew it on time. So I said, let's buy a new mattress. We changed the mattress to, a stronger one that can take some gymnastics, and then bought a semi-orthopedic mattress. Then we relocated the elder, that's our first child. We relocated her to the other room. The other small boy, we just sleep, on the mattress down there. And my wife and I could close up the gap that was between us. That decision alone changed the game. It was a game changer for us. After we bought that mattress, strong mattress, you lie on it, you feel comfortable. It changed the whole environment. So environment can be a very, very key factor. You may be under the same roof, in the same room, not even separate rooms. Yet the kind of setting that you have around can impact, your sexual experience. Take for instance, you have in your bedroom a chair that can be used to explore another sex position aside using your bed, your mattress. The presence of that chair alone, the arrangement of that chair alone, can give you inspiration to do some weird things sexually. So the environment also matters, a lot. Then lastly is disconnection. Yeah, people get married, they are so enthused, they are so encouraged, they are so into sex, they have sex every day, maybe morning and night, as the case may be. But as time goes on, normally is a normal cycle for most marriages. But the fact that it is normal does not mean you accept it. The interest may dwindle over time. Why? The drive that you had before you got married, you have satisfied a lot of it. You've had frequent sex and all of that. But as time now goes on, the drive now reduces. If that drive reduces and you don't pay attention to it, that, hey, this thing is going down, what can we do to keep it up, or to at least keep it where it is not for it to go down? You will lose the spark. So that disconnection will begin to set in, and then that disconnection can make you to have less and less interest in sex, because a lot of things are now involved. Work is involved. You're thinking of your health. You're thinking of making more money. You're thinking of a lot of factors. So that can also impact. That disconnection can bring about reduction in sexual activities between a husband and a wife. Another very important thing that is very common in many, 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 many homes is saying no. Saying no. And that comes with, I am tired. When your spouse makes a move and you tell him or you tell her, I am tired, and they honor your tiredness by leaving you, one of the best things you can do, let me just give the solution immediately. One of the best things you can do is to initiate sex before it is too long. If they make a move today, for instance, today is Friday, they make a move to have sex with you, and you claim you are tired. You can truly be tired, of course, but let it be a duty in your mind that saying no is a rejection, whether you like it or not. Whether or not you understand, is a rejection. And rejection has a way of working on the mind. So rejection can affect his confidence or our confidence that if I make a move now, he may not oblige. He may not oblige, or she may not oblige me, she may not answer me. So how can you solve this? If you say no to your spouse after making an advance towards you, please, Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo's, that's Pastor Mildred Okonkwo. I watched a short video of theirs where she suggested something, and I really agreed. Within the next 24 to 48 hours, initiate sex. If you said no, to say no today, Friday, before the end of Saturday or Sunday, please initiate a sex because you said no. And why are you doing this? You are doing this to pay back. Don't wait until your spouse comes again, say he will come again or she will come again. No, be the one to make the next move so that he or she will feel that, oh, that tiredness was actually true. Now he or she has recovered. That's why he made the move or she made the move. So don't frequently say no and still expect your spouse to come after you. It can affect, in fact, it has affected me before. I won't lie to you, it affected me before. So I learned from it. That's why the book I wrote, a lot of experiences are daring. Let's just go on and say nothing happened. A lot of experiences are there. The mistakes I made in the past, the mistakes we made in the past. So don't say no and expect them to come again. Be the one to make, the next move. Another thing that can also be an issue, a very big issue, bringing about disconnection, still relating to disconnection, is that your spouse is not enjoying sex with you because you are the only one enjoying it. And that's also because they are not reaching orgasm. When more often than not, a woman is not reaching sexual orgasm, she's not attaining the peak of sexual, satisfaction. The truth is that she will at the time feel that she is being used to satisfy your sexual gratification as a man. I said in our last session that men do not find it difficult most of the times, except there is a sexual, except there is an health issue. They easily get sexual, they usually get sexual climax quite easily than men do. So if that happens often, in 4 minutes or in 5 or even less, you have already reached the top of Kilimanjaro. Your wife on day 1, no joy. She didn't get any pleasure because she's just coming up and you have ended the show. Second day, third day, the 5th attempt, 10th attempt, 15th attempt, she did not reach orgasm. She will gradually begin to think that there's really no big deal with this thing. But there is actually a big deal in it. The problem is that she has not felt the feeling that she ought to feel because something is not done right. So if the sexual satisfaction is tilted towards one person, only the man, or maybe only the woman, which is rare or not as frequently as the other, as for the man is that you are the only one getting the, you are the only one getting the green light, you're enjoying yourself, and your wife is just, after you have ejaculated, everybody stand up, you go and clean up, and that is it. She will feel no big deal. So when you make moves, you are likely to get no, and she's not likely going to initiate. So there's a solution to that. We'll be talking about that very briefly. Then as well, another thing is also the fact that you are not exploring. If you are not exploring, it will be so dry. At a point in our sexual life, my wife and I, my wife had to say we were doing things in a routinous way. If you start with this position, we already knew what position we were going to do next, and then we knew what we were going to do next, and it was already looking like a routine. If she didn't say it and I didn't accept it, she at a point in time will feel bored that this thing already has a way it goes. It begins like this and it ends like this. So not trying new things, not trying new environment, not trying new approaches to your sexual life can be a lot of issues. So those are the problems. Let's go to the solutions, which are very, very important. I don't know, boss, if you want to mention anything before I move to that. If not,
no, go
I
ahead.
can continue.
Go ahead. Fire down. I'm here. I'm listening. I'm also learning, man.
Okay. All right, sir. So very quickly, the solutions are very, very important. One of the major ways to bring back the spark when sexual, intimacy is dwindling is to communicate. In fact, I don't know why it's like that, but communication is a solution to most marital problems. Communication, whether it's a financial problem or because a man can be going through financial problem and she will not tell and he won't tell the woman. And that goes to say that they are not open enough for communication. And that thing that is bothering him will bother the marriage because it will affect the way you'll be reacting and acting around the house. And even in the way you'll be talking to the woman, the children, and everything is doing around the house. So communication is key. First thing first, we are not enjoying this thing. Or I am not enjoying this thing. Now only you the enjoy it. There is a problem. Admitting that there is a problem and knowing that there is a need to address it is one of the major ways sexual intimacy problems can be solved. So communicate it and identify what the problem is. Why are we not enjoying this thing? Why am I not enjoying it? When you know why you are not enjoying it, you are closer to knowing how you will enjoy it. But unfortunately, some couples don't discuss, they don't talk about it. They just feel, let's just keep doing it the way it is. Let's just keep managing it the way it is. Communicate. If you are not enjoying sex, communicate it to your husband. If you are a woman, tell your husband that I'm not enjoying this thing. In the last 6 months, I don't feel like I'm having anything with you. There is no connection. If you have a right-thinking husband, he will know that that is a problem already. And then he will pay attention. And then from there, you can begin to talk of, okay, why are you not enjoying it? What can I do for you to enjoy it? How can I do it for you to enjoy it? What do you want me to do for you to enjoy it? That way, your spouse will know that you are interested in their satisfaction. So communication is very key. Another thing is increasing your earning power. If money is a problem, you need to increase your earning power. That's the honest truth. In today's Nigeria, you can't afford to say, hey, I'm only doing this one work, except you are Tony Enumelu. Even Tony Enumelu does not have one business. He's into this and that. Just yesterday or so, I saw that his company bought shares in Transcorp or so. So they are here and there. You have to increase your sources of income. You have to increase your earning capacity. The truth is that there is a very close relationship between finance and romance. There is a very close relationship between finance and romance. If your finance is in jeopardy, your romance is likely going to be in problem because romance is not sweet where there is no finance. That's the truth. Romance is not sweet where there is no finance. It's very, very key. Another thing is increasing your skill. Some people don't have the right skill set. They don't have the right skill set for sex. Sex is an activity that requires learning and skills. So if you don't have the right skill set, take for instance, you just have sex and everything just goes normal way. If you are not doing something right, learn about it. That you need to learn what you are not doing well. Read books. There are books you can read. My book is one, Sexual Intimacy and Sex in Marriage. Read books. And when you read the books, discuss what you read together. What have you learned? What did you learn? What can we improve on? It was in the process of reading, my wife was making research, that she stumbled on one sexual art called Kunyaza. You can go and check it out. There's a whole book on it. Kunyaza, Kunyaza. Kunyaza. It's a sexual art that emanated from, I think, Rwanda. Just check it out. And then in research, that means we were learning, we kept learning, we kept increasing our skill. And then we said, oh, which one is Kunyaza again? And then we said, okay, we've done something similar to that. We didn't even know. Then we learned it, then we practice it, then we learn, then we practice it, we tried it. That is, you need to keep upskilling. Sex also requires upskilling, not just your marketing work, not just your business work, not just your consulting work, not just your work, your 9-to-5 job that you upskill, even your sexual life, because it's very key. Upskill, learn more. Learn more. Don't just be stagnant and be doing the same thing. My wife, for instance, when we are firing this thing, at some point in time, she will be squeezing the vagina. That thing gives me a lot of nice feeling. That act of squeezing, in fact, some people don't even know that they can try. Some women don't know. For example, you have given birth 1 or 2 through vaginal delivery, and the vagina is a bit, not as tight as it was before. You can learn to do Kegel exercise. Kegel exercise can improve your, can help to tighten your vaginal muscles again. And your husband will feel like you are still a virgin, right? So Kegel is something you can learn. You won't know if you don't research, if you don't read, if you don't watch, videos of these teachings. So tightening the vagina while penetration is going on is a skill that you can learn, you can practice it. Then on your own, you can do Kegel on the normal day. Kegel is just, squeezing your PC muscle. You can read about it. It can improve your sexual experience. It can make the man to last longer, because it can help to, help him to stay longer, in sex. So upskilling is very key. And learning new things, doing new things, trying new things, not just is only missionary, and you don't know any other thing. If it's not missionary, there is no sex. It's a wrong mindset some people also have. And so your spouse will feel like you are boxing them. You are not allowing them to try things, and it can affect the kind of sexual life that, of course, you have together. Another thing is also to ensure that you try to stay healthy. If you are not healthy, there's going to be problem with your romance life. That's the truth. There's no how a man will be sick right there on the bed, or the woman is sick, and you are going to, and you want to go have sex with him. It will be so inconsiderate. It will be so, it will be an act of an act of inconsideration for that to happen. So you need to stay healthy, not just for you to make money, but for you to be able to fire on in the husband room is very, very important. Then seeking help. Some months ago, a new couple, they just got married, and she contacted a friend that they were not getting it right. The friend told them, say, well, it was Mr. Nani and his wife that mentored us, and we are firing. We are doing well. They know this thing very well. Go and meet them. They came, and then we talked to them. We said, do it this way. This is what you need to do. This is where the vagina is. This is what you should do to the penis. This is how to undo this. Learning from people who know is one of the ways that you can use to, fire up your sexual life again. Just today, one of my Facebook friends was telling me that he's going to visit me and my wife with his wife, that they will come around. What do they want to come and do aside visiting us? To share knowledge and to see ways they can improve on their sexual life. So these are ways to get better. Learn from people. Share if you are struggling with your sexual life. Share your experience with somebody that you know better than you do. Someone that knows better than you do. Preferably somebody that maybe has it as a profession. You can talk to them. You can seek knowledge. Then you can also, of course, read books. Then also seek medical attention. It's possible that the reason you are having low libido, your sexual libido is so low, it could be tied to, it may not just be economic reasons, financial reasons, it could be health-wise as well, right? For example, if it is erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation, that may require some medical attention. So don't be shy. Some men are usually shy about talking about their sexual failures, but that shouldn't be the case. You need to think also of your spouse. They are burning if they are not getting sexual satisfaction. They are burning. That's the honest truth. Then try to sort out conflicts. You can't be in Sudan now they are fighting. I don't think you'll be hearing gunshots and you'll be thinking and your penis will be erect. You must be crazy for that to happen. Really, really crazy. When gunshot, bullets is flying everywhere. So that is conflict. Now bring that conflict to the house. Everywhere is on fire. You can't think of sex. So try to work on your conflicts. Try to resolve them. And as you resolve them, your mind will reconnect again. And when the mind reconnect, body will join body, and many, many things can happen. Then work on your environment. I gave you my example. The mattress wasn't helping, right? So because the mattress was not strong and firm enough, my wife preferred to sleep on the small mattress. So we changed the mattress, and that brought us closer. We moved one of the children out. That brought us closer. And I don't want to tell you what that has done to us. It is simply out of this world. That change of environment, that little tweaking of the environment, that bringing in that extra chair maybe to the bedroom to give you another imagination of something you can explore, can be the game changer, for your marriage. Then also try to retreat as a couple. Don't work January to December, working 9 to 5 every day, church, come back home, pray, work, eat, sleep, and you don't retreat. No, it's not the best. My wife and I were discussing just last week or so, even today, that I was asking her when I would doing this retreat. We just leave the home, go to a place, maybe a hotel, somewhere in Canaanland, Otta, somewhere in Lekki, a shorted apartment, only the two of us. not just because of sex, but to reconnect again, to be able to see each other eyeball to eyeball again. There are some observations that you are not making because you and your spouse, you are not really paying attention. But when you retreat to pray, to connect again emotionally, psychologically, financial wise, you have discussion, you look at each other again, and you really talk and you really connect. It can refire your, it can bring back the spark in your sexual and intimacy life as a couple. So this is something that you should really explore. And we are looking at not just we having it, but also bringing in other couples where we can have a short-term apartment of say 5 bedroom, and then we have 5 couples. There will be a central sitting room. We have activities, we have games, we have talk time, we have prayer time. These things are this kind of collaboration with other couples who are doing well can help you. You will learn when you see and say, oh, this is what they are doing, and it is working for them. They also share their experiences in your general discussion in such sessions. It can really help your sexual life to get back to normal. Another thing you can also do is to pay back. I've said it before. If you say no, don't wait for them to come. Don't wait for your husband to come or your wife to come. Initiate the next one. Initiate the next one so that they will feel that you really were tired or you had a genuine reason why you said no. Because frequent rejection can really affect the mindset of your spouse, and also spice up your relationship. Yes, spice up your relationship. Go out, date. Just go on a date. Just go out and eat. It's not all the time that your wife must cook. She will be tired. Then also get a help. We got a help, and that thing has helped our home so much. It's not, hey, I will do the work. Hey, it's my wife that it's only me that must do the work. It will affect your bedroom life. If you can, domestic work, it does not require skill. So if somebody else can do it for you and you will conserve energy. So what are you talking about? I saw the comments of one of my big bosses, Nnamdi Mr. Nnamdi Ibe on Mr. Emeka's post yesterday. He was talking about getting help and even getting a cook. The wife has not agreed. Why? Doing that will help to make the wife have more time to relax and rest. And with that, she will have less burden on her mind. She will not be thinking of what are we eating. She will not be in the bedroom on the bed with the husband and be thinking of the kitchen. The mind is away from the body. And the mind is in there for sex to happen. So decongest your task. Assign what you can assign to helps. Your clothes, machine should do the job. A help should be around to do some things, maybe living or just come in and work and go out every day. Whatever it is that will make you people to have more time to each other, explore it. It will change your sexual life. Then, of course, you should also seek the satisfaction of your spouse. I said that earlier. At a point in time in our sexual life, when we just got married, I was the only one just enjoying sex, reaching orgasm. The moment I reached orgasm, that was the end. My wife had to communicate. That's one thing I appreciate about her. She communicates this pleasure. She communicates the satisfaction. She said she was not enjoying it. And then, like I said in the first session, she was not enjoying it. What can we do? We now started exploring, started trying new things. That was when we eat good. That the woman on top sex position is an amazing position. Till tomorrow, is still serving us back to back, back to back. So you have to seek the satisfaction of your spouse so that they will not feel that they are being used. That way can spark up the interest. Then lastly, try new things. Try new things. You cannot afford not to do that. Don't make your marriage monotonous. The fact that you are waking up and sleeping together every day is already some sort of monotony, right? So to reduce this monotony, try new things. It may not be sexual things. Just try new things to make your life look different. It could be changing the color of the room. It could be changing some furniture. It could be rearranging something. It could be exchanging gifts. Just anything around the house that you can try that you don't usually do. It will make them feel loved and know that you are not just interested in their body, but you are also mindful of what is going on in their general life. So these are some few things that I believe I believe bring problems to couples sexual life, and some of the solutions that we have shared. I want us to keep it so short, particularly because of my boss. He needs a lot of rest. Thank you
Sunday,
so much.
well done. But there are two things I would like you to provide solutions to, if you can have that conversation. Number one is that you mentioned about men who are homosexuals, and because they have homosexual partners, they do not connect to their wives back at home. Maybe because they were forced to get married to, there are some families when the man comes out and says, I'm a homosexual, and the family doesn't want that to go out into the public, to maintain in our culture, to be able to say, to maintain the family name or family prestige, so to say. And then they get to marry a wife for him. He also his sexual partners who are homosexuals, and he's not able. So that's number one. I want you to, profile what's the solution to that if a woman finds herself in that kind of solution. Number two, sorry, that kind of situation. Number two is for those who have issues with health. For example, the person could be diabetic or hypertensive, and then some of these drugs cause men to either have premature ejaculation, or that their penises do not get
Correct.
totally, they just don't get erect. So what could be your solutions? What could you say? Conversations around these two peculiar
Yeah.
issues.
Okay, thank you very much, boss. So for the first, let me start with the second one. Somebody, the man or the woman having a health issue, and therefore maybe they are using some drugs, some medications, and that is affecting their sexual performance. Um, to be honest, it can really be a struggle, but I believe that there could still be some help. And one of the things I will advise such people should do is to really seek help with therapists. Therapy can really help people that are going through going through health challenges to be able to manage the problem as much as they can. Even though it will still impact their sexual experience in general, there may be some other sexual explorations that they may be able to try out. Maybe not entirely penetrative sex. There could be sex that are not sexual acts that are not penetrative. It's possible that they may be able to try out oral sex if it is something that they are comfortable with. And aside the fact that they are using the drug that is affecting for the man maybe erection and therefore also causing premature ejaculation, urologists can also help them
So,
with certain.
so sorry, Sonny, are you saying that um if a man is experiencing flaccidity, he can do oral sex to satisfy the woman? I mean, is that does it mean that there's some women who can be able to reach orgasm just by oral sex alone? Or, I just wanted to, have some
Okay,
clarification on that.
okay. In a very specific way, in a very specific answer rather, if a man is having flaccid penis, for instance, erection is needed for sex to happen, really. So with flaccid penis, there is a problem with erection. So I would suggest it's a medical issue here now. So my suggestion would be that they should see a medical practitioner, because I know that there are things that can be done medically that can improve. It may not be as it will be for a person that has no, you know, erectile dysfunction at all, but there may be some medical procedures. There could be some drugs, despite the fact that they are using maybe diabetic drug, whatever they are using, that is affecting their sexual life. There could be some drugs, some procedures that they may go through that can improve their chances, right? That is it. Then for the woman, for instance, for a man that has flaccid um, penis, and so is not able to sustain erection to satisfy the woman. The truth is that if men and women, husband and wife, are able to explore touching, just touching your spouse, knowing where to touch, a woman can reach orgasm just through touching. I'm saying this not from reading, but from experience. I have touched my wife at a point in time, part of sexual activities, just by touching her. She climaxed. I did not use my penis for anything for her to get there. So that's why I said learning and researching is really, really important. So by using the hand alone, maybe through fingering, it wasn't even fingering I did that day. It was just touching, a growing area and touching it consistently and in a particular pattern. She reached orgasm. For a man that is having flaccid penis, he can explore touches. They call it dry humping. They can try this, and the woman will still feel sexually satisfied without the use of the man's penis. I'm not encouraging. I'm not saying a woman, go and do your thing and ignore your husband. I'm saying husband and wife, it's still the two people that are involved. But for the man, seeking medical attention will really provide some solutions, I believe. Then for the second question about gayism or homosexuality, yeah, it happens. The man, maybe the man is gay or the woman is a lesbian, and then they want to cover the face and they still went on to marry. But the problem will come out. They need to seek help. What will I say? The man, if the man is a victim, whoever is a victim in this case, needs to open up, because you cannot be in a marriage and not be enjoying sex as it were, and you are keeping quiet. You need to open up. You need to let those who need to know what exactly you are passing through, because it is a big issue. It's a big problem. So those who are stakeholders in your marriage that you can talk to, that can intervene in whatever way, you need to speak to them. That is the first step. It also has to do with communication, like I talked about. You need to communicate it either to the man himself, of course, or to the woman himself, and then to also parties that can help to intervene in the issue. Now, the man is already having a sexual orientation that is tilted towards gayism. To be honest with you, I don't know much about handling gays or handling lesbians, or how to change their orientation from whatever orientation they have to what it were. But I think that one step that will really help is for whoever the victim is to open up. In opening up, I don't know, I believe that one or two solutions may be able to come about. Honestly, it's not a place that one should be in. So that's my take on that.
Sunday, one thing I love you for is your honesty and your openness to this conversation. Thank you so much. I can see someone, Christine Vidal, says men on medications affecting sex life should inform their doctors. There are substitute medications with less side effects. Okay, that's another angle to that. Thank you. So, guys, if you have questions, please do ask as we begin to wind down. We have about 10 minutes left so that we can ask Sunday questions. If you ask a question, I will bring the question on the screen so that you can. Sunday, one of the things I know that is quite very difficult for men to open up is because a lot of men tie their ego to sexual performance.
Yes.
I mean, having a man to say, man, this thing know they walk, oh, this thing know they rise, oh, you know what I mean? It can be
Yes,
very terrifying for a man, you know what I mean? In terms of ego. So you encourage conversations, between the man and the wife. But sometimes you find out that when a man opens up to the woman about his issues with sex, how the woman receives it, could be. I think this particularly happens with between when the man is the victim here and is trying to share with the woman, his wife, about his issues. How the women really respond could be could help solve the problem, or even intensify the pain that the man is currently experiencing. All right. So I think the issue of communication there is something that also has to be, fleshed out a little bit. Some women were like, now what you I mean, I'm even talking like a man, but you know how some women can lacerate your ego with words. All right. So what can you say concerning this? How women, use their tongues or to use their words, and then dress the man, fully, and the man is just, go ahead.
Okay, so thank you very much, boss, for that question. First of all, let me say, if the man is a victim here, the woman needs to understand that the man needs help already. The fact that he opens up, even if he doesn't open up, the woman will still know. There's no way a man will hide his sexual problem from his own wife, and the wife will not know. But let's even assume he's hiding it, and the man now opens up. It means that he needs support, and this of course is one of the purposes of marriage. Marriage is also to provide support to your partner. So when your spouse opens up to you that I'm struggling with this issue, or I'm having this I'm having this dysfunction. You can even see it. I don't even last 2 minutes. I've already ejaculated. The woman needs to be wise. A wise woman arranges, sets, and preserves her home. It's not that she wants to keep the things secret, but she needs to manage the information in a way that the man will not feel, too exposed. Like you rightly said, man have ego going ahead of them, but those of them who are honest enough to open up need the help. So the woman should provide that support, should provide that, in quotes, cover, not cover as to keep it secret and say, let's just be managing it, but provide the cover that the man needs, the safety, the security the man needs, and then go ahead to seek ways they can get solution. The truth is that there are very few issues that don't have some sort of solution. So when a man opens up, the woman should please try to be wise with handling that information, knowing that it will have taken him a lot of deal to even be able to talk about it. So take the information with maturity and say, oh, okay, this is our issue, not just your issue. You need to identify with the problem with your husband or even your wife, as the case may be. Identify with them and say, yes, I agree that this is an issue both of us have to face head on, because marriage is about two people against the world, and the world can be anything. Whether there's function, financial issues, in-laws, whatever. So that help, that succor, providing that support can be a lot. For example, when we were trying to have a child after we got married, we found out that my wife had PCOS. PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome. That affects quite a number of women. They don't even know it. A lot of singles have it. They don't know until they get married, and then they now realize that I'm not getting pregnant. So when I knew that she had PCOS, and my dad was asking me that, what's happening now? You guys, what's happening? No baby, no pregnancy, and all that. I didn't open my mind to say, it's my wife. She's having PCOS. I don't even know where that thing is coming from. We've spent money. We've done mini surgery, because we actually did mini surgery. We've done mini surgery. She has used drug, injection, here and there, and also she's the one. The Lord will help her. I'm praying for her. That's not a wise way to have handled that situation. But that day, I told my dad, I said, yeah, we are on it. I'm trusting God that everything is going to work well. I didn't open my mouth to say, it's my wife. Oh, now she know the Dukiniko, now she be the problem. But I managed the information in a way that I didn't expose my wife. And surprisingly, that same day, I went home, I visited my dad, and then I went home. That was the same day my wife had gone to the lab to do tests, and the test came out positive. The first ever time she would test positive to pregnancy. So imagine I go about telling my sisters and my brothers that it's my wife. So that won't be kind, that won't be nice. So protect your husband, not to keep the issue unresolved, but to be looking for solutions. And by God's grace, I believe that solution will come forth.
Thank you so much. There's another question that somebody has asked by Victor Iwunze. Is oral sex advisable? I have heard a medical doctor discourage the practice. Please, more light on this. I'm a medical student studying anatomy. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. When I was in courtship, my wife and I, we were open about sexual conversation. So I told her then, I said, oral sex, I don't like it though. I've never had it, but the idea was what I didn't like. I just said, I don't think this thing is something I would like. She did not have issue with it at that time. But we now got married, during the exploration of sexual activities and all that, we explored it and we liked it. I like it. In fact, now in marriage, she that didn't have issue with it, she doesn't welcome it as much as I welcome it today, right? So to answer the question straightforward, is it advisable? Yes, it's advisable. It's part of sexual explorations. But of course, if you do your research, you will read and find out that there are some, they could say medical research or medical write-ups may say, oh, there could be infection arising from it, there could be this, there could be that. Yes, but those cases are very, very slim. Those cases are very, very slim, and they could also be tied to having multiple sexual partners. If, for me and my wife, for instance, we are faithful to each other and we don't have any sexual, we don't have any infection or whatever it is, we are okay, we are just fine. We can explore it if the conditions are fine. Of course, the penis cannot have a wound on it now, and you'll be licking it, you'll be sucking it. That's not ideal, because already there's a breakage in the skin, right? So where everything is fine, you are faithful to each other, nobody's cheating. There's nothing wrong with oral sex. It's something you can explore. Even for Christians, there's nothing wrong with it. I can say that boldly. But of course, it boils down to what everybody like. If you don't like it, you don't want to try it. But if you like it, or your spouse likes it, and you're also comfortable with it, you can try it. So that's my take on that.
Man, thank you so much. Sunday, thank you. Is 1 hour on the dot. Thank you. I don't think there are other questions. I'm not seeing any other question pop up on the screen. So thank you everybody for having tuned in to this session. I am extremely grateful and glad that you guys decided to be part of this session tonight. All right. Thank you everybody, both to the males, to the females who tuned in, single and married. I know that you've learned a whole lot from Sunday and Nani. Sunday, thank you so much for doing this with me. The first session was mind-blowing. The second session, also the same thing. I mean, your sessions are raw and heartfelt and very sincere and honest without religious undertones, you know. There are individuals you bring on and they quote from Bible, quote from Quran, from, without really dealing with issues holistically and practically. But you have, despite being that you're a Christian and you have your Christian beliefs, you've been able to share with us as open, as honest that you can be. Thank you so much, Sunday. It's been an amazing time doing this with you. Thank you for the launch of the book. If you got the books there, please show us, because I know that the book is now in print. Show us, and we wrap up, just share with us about the book. And yeah, go ahead and get the book, please. Okay, guys. So he's going to share about. I mean, the book is amazing. The book is fantastic. All right. I read it. Somebody came to my office and took a copy of the book away. The lady forcefully took the book away from me. I mean, to go read it, because she's flipped through a few pages and she enjoyed it. All right, Sonny, go ahead and share with us your newest release and how we can get a copy of the book.
All right, so this is the book, Seasoning Intimacy and Sex in Marriage. Seasoning Intimacy and Sex in Marriage. This book is suitable for singles to read who want to learn what to know about sex and intimacy. It's very raw. I must warn you, it's very, very raw, very, very raw, because we need to be open about this discussion. So this is it. You can get it from seller.com. If you visit my timeline on Facebook, I share about it a lot. You see one link on one post or the other that you can just click to get it. I will also drop the link on this video as a comment for those who are interested in it. Of course, there are two other books. The first one, My Marriage, My Work, very amazing content. And also now this is courtship. For those who are in courtship, this book has been saving lives, saving lives for a relationship. So these are some of the materials that you can get from me. Thank you so much, boss. I really appreciate this opportunity. You are amazing. Despite your tiredness, you still did more than 1 hour. Wow. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you, sir.
I'm grateful for the things we do to help other people. All right. It's been an amazing. I had a session today at River State University, and where we have been on an outreach to help students, with really teach students, about successes, about how to get better in life. So we do this, to be able to bring light into the lives of people. Thank you so much, Sunday, for doing this. I look forward to another beautiful session. I mean, I'm going to be lining up sessions next week with with a lot of individuals, almost on a daily basis. All right. So because I want a lot of people to see what people are doing and to also connect to them. Thank you so much for this session. My regards to your wife. I hope that I'll reach out someday soon. And my regards to your beautiful family. All right. God bless you, and goodbye to everyone. Good night.
Good night. Bye.